to deserve this feeling of a thunderbolt inside of my head. But I'm suspecting that I neglected to draw the line when it comes to you. And now I'm feeling sleazy, feeling so sleazy. Every time you tease me, you make the feeling come easy. Staring at the lumps in the sheets next to me, wondering, oh my God, is that you? All I see is tangled red hair, naked, dirty feet, and now I'm thinking, what did I do? So I'm stressing, scratching my head, guessing and looking for some kind of clue. When your friend stumbled in just a skin that I knew. Breathe in, take it easy. I'm feeling sleepy. Oh, fuck it, come on. Got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Woke up on the wrong side of town. Every time I focus on the right direction, I somehow let you come turn me around. Now it's not my nature, but I don't hate you for doing the things that you do. They make me feel sleepy.
I can't believe it. Here we are again, Joe. It's the Barry Funkhauser Show.
Heck, I barely made it.
June gloom in full effect, and on the East Coast, it's bright orange for some reason. They say they put on the Breaking Bad Mexico filter on the entire East Coast.
Oh, I'm just glad I got out. Yeah, we the wildfires were happening when Linda and I were there, but they said there was smoke in the air, but it was like nothing like the wild. Now I'm seeing the pictures, and it's Armageddon. It was like when did we have the wildfire smoke here? Was that last year, 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
Every year, man. Jeez.
Yeah, every year now. But yeah, it was like that. It's like that in New York. It looks gross. I'm glad I got out.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the Southland here in Los Angeles, California, and it's even a beautiful day to interview a band that's usually out late at night, strapped with guitars, look like they just got a gift certificate from Guitar Center and spent it all. Let's bring on Jeffrey and Mark from the band The Guitar and Whiskey Club. Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Now,
Hello.
you guys,
Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for being on, man. A real LA rock band, Joe. Can you believe it?
I know they still exist. I'm so happy
I
about
have
it.
to put on my rock voice to talk to them. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
what's
just happy we don't have to talk about mumble rap, you know? That's my big thing right now.
We're a cross between Sasquatch and unicorns, you know. It's very rare you find it.
all right? So tell the people, Jeffrey, you're in charge of the band. You're the captain of the ship. Tell them how the Guitar and Whiskey Club got started.
Well, it got started. I had taken a hiatus from playing in bands for a couple of decades, although I, continued to play and continued to write. And in about 2015, I decided it was time to put a band back together and get out there and start gigging again, which is what I did. And we had our initial lineup in early 2016 and just went out and started gigging. We started out doing mostly covers and a couple of originals, but the whole goal was to always move into being an all original band, which is what we are now.
All original band, meaning you have original songs. You're not doing covers. Is that the case?
That's correct. Yes.
But when you were doing covers, what was your favorite song to cover? What was like the most upbeat thing when you were like, oh yeah, now we get to play that song?
Well, one of the songs that we did, and we still do one cover, and it's this song. It's Pat Travers Snorting Whiskey.
Which is appropriate. Works with the title.
Yeah, it works with the band name, it works with the title, and I've always loved that song. It's a fun song. Everybody knows it, and when we play it, everybody really gets into it.
Oh, nice. See, those are always the fun songs. They're the party songs, you know?
Exactly.
And I listened to a couple of songs and watched some videos. They're like, you usually don't get the level of production value when you're talking to a band as new as yours. And man, I'm hearing like everything's perfect sound wise. Everything looks good on film.
Well, because they're industry veterans, Barry. They're not some schlubs off the street who are living in a van down by the river. These are pros.
Yeah, skill is the advantage here, I think. So I'm wondering how all that got started. How are you able to make such a good sound come out of this? Being that you are Hot 100 live and unsigned band.
I think I know. I think they turn it up to 11.
I know. Well, how do you do both?
Well, we use our 8-track cassette decks. We link them together. That gives us 16 tracks. No, I'm just.
Oh man, that is fantastic. That's fantastic.
Well,
we're all old farts here, so I got the 8-track reference. Come on.
It is interesting that you bring that up, though. If there was one silver lining in the pandemic, it would probably be the fact that we had the time to actually upgrade all of our own recording equipment, really learn how to work remotely. The songs that are on the EP that are also on our website and everywhere else were actually all recorded in various studios. All the guitars were tracked here at my studio, at my house. Same with the bass. Mark did all the tracking on the vocals at his house with his setup. We really dialed it in, upgraded all of our equipment, really learned how to do the recording ourselves, which has been a blessing. One of the things is that when you rent studio time or, are trying to get your stuff recorded, you're on a very strict schedule and you're paying money for that schedule. Every hour is a couple $100. So you try to get it done as fast as you can, get in, get out. Hopefully everything sounds good and you don't have to do it again. So by doing it all in our own studios, we didn't have those limitations. So, we're able to track things numerous times until we get the exact sound that we want. And then we just put it all together in the mix. We have a phenomenal mixing engineer, Adam Ponce, who does.
Shout out to Adam Ponce. He's badass.
Way to go, Adam.
And Bill Montoya does all of our mastering. So we have two really good people as the engineers putting it all together for us.
So my thing is, it doesn't sound like it's remote, because sometimes the bands will fall into that trap where they have all that time, and so it's overproduced. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't, the guitars sound. I'm trying to think of like too mechanical. There's got to be a feel in the guitar, and if you're tracking over and over and you're trying to get it exactly right, sometimes you miss out on those nuances. But I don't get that in this album. So you guys like kind of mastered that remote work.
I think part of that process goes to, rehearsals where we would rehearse together. We would get together and rehearse together,
Whose house?
Figure out the parts, dial it in, so that we had that live sound, but then we'd go back home and record it,
And one of the things that has is, I specifically for the guitars, specifically tried to get that live sound. And so when I do my recording, I only use the equipment that I use on stage. So when you see us live, my guitar parts will pretty much sound identical to what you hear on the record.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay, can you dork out for a second and talk about technically what you're playing? Because everybody that has these kinds of guitar sounds, they have tricks to them. So like, what is that thing that you're playing?
What's your amp? What's your pedal? What guitar do you play? Do you play upside down like Jimi Hendrix? Come on, we need to know.
Jeff likes to explore. He's an explorer.
I use mostly Gibson Explorers. I have quite a collection of them. I've been playing Explorers since I was about 16 years old, and it's just the right guitar for me. Most of them have been upgraded with Floyd Rose tremolos, which have now all been upgraded to Sophia tremolos.
Oh, okay.
As far as amps, I actually, I have more amps in my studio than I care to admit. But what I actually play through is a Quilter 200-watt solid state head, and everything else is done through the pedal boards. I use an EVH 5150 overdrive pedal, Seymour Duncan vapor delay for the delay. A couple of other little things. It's very minimalistic, actually. It's not a huge rig. It's a very reliable rig. The great thing about using a solid state Quilter as my amp is that I can carry a spare one in the backpack that I take to the gigs.
Oh yeah, because they're tiny. Oh, what year Explorer do you have?
The ones that I play on stage, my number one stage guitar is a 1991 Explorer.
Okay.
Number two stage guitar is a 2011 Explorer.
Nice. And what's your most expensive guitar?
That's probably.
Hey, I like these questions, Barry. Don't laugh at me. Come on, everybody's a collector. Come on.
It's probably my 2000 or not 1983 Beat Rich Explorer. That was 1 out of 100. It was a custom build, neck through body.
What color?
It's bright red.
Oh, you're killing me over here. Oh man, that is a fantastic guitar.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't leave the house. So,
See, I grew up in Fullerton. So if you guys know, that's, the home of guitar. So
right.
I am very, very excited about this.
And me, on the other hand, I had no idea what you guys said, but the more
you're like, guitar, what? Pickup, huh? Pedal?
I understand, the cooler it sounds.
I'm trying to figure out how I can stretch a story out of my straight mic stand with the round bass and, like.
What year? What kind of mic do you have? What year? How old is your mic stand?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Is it vintage?
What do you write lyrics with? Do you use a pen or are you a typer? Like what? I can get it.
I use a pencil.
You're a pencil guy still?
I'm a pencil guy. Yeah. I like to be able to scratch out and erase. Well, also I'm an illustrator too, so I'll draw pictures while I'm trying to figure out what line I'm trying to come up with.
Oh, okay. We'll get back into the band stuff in a little bit. You're an illustrator. Where do you illustrate?
I am. I am a freelance illustrator, but I've illustrated for Disney, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers. Did the first
Oh,
Harry Potter
wow.
style guide. Yeah,
Dang. Okay, so you're like you're a professional that people should hire, so you should probably give out your information right now so they
I,
can call you.
I am a professional. Don't try to
That's
do
it.
this at home,
I'm just
kids.
a professional.
Don't try to do this at home, kids, not without supervision.
Oh yeah, illustrating's hard. Yeah, I worked with illustrators
Oh,
for the
it's
past 6 years in my video games, so it's
great.
I understand the pressures that you go through to get your job
You're
done.
a video gamer, are you? A video game
Oh
developer?
yeah, I was I've done I am moving back to broadcasting, but my last 20 years I have spent as a marketer, promoter, community manager for video games. I worked on
That's
everything
very cool.
from Call of Duty, Ratchet and Clank. The last one that I worked on was a small indie mobile game for indie artists for them to share their art.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, so it's been fun. Not nearly as much fun as music and broadcasting. Hence why I am back.
Here's what I'm going to
There
say
you
about
go.
all this here, guys, is if we were in like Davenport, Iowa, your side gigs would be completely different, I'm imagining.
I mean, sure, I'd be like, I
I work at the
what
dairy.
are the people called that pull on the cow's teats to get the milk?
I
Is that still a thing, or do they just like attach like a robot to that
don't
now?
know. You're like the head of the machine that runs it.
Oh yeah, okay, I'd be that guy. Sure, I could do that. No, you
I
know
don't
what I
know.
would
I
be?
did a
I would
I
be the announcer at the AAA baseball park in Davenport, Iowa.
well, I don't know about Davenport, Iowa, but I did a comic book signing in Sioux City,
Oh,
Iowa,
nice.
back in what was it? Had to be 20 years ago.
So what
So
was the comic that you did?
the comic at that time was it was a company called Liar Comics, and the comic was More Than Mortal. Uh, I
Sounds
worked
fun.
on several issues of that with a penciler by the name of Steve Furco, who is in video gaming right now and also worked on Call of Duty as a concept artist.
Oh well, hi Steve. Nice to see you again.
Oh my
We're a
God.
small community here
You guys
over
are,
here
There
in
you
the Call of
go.
Duty world. Barry, do you play video games?
you guys are dorks.
Okay, let's get back to music then.
No, but this all brings up an interesting topic about LA and entertainment and how everything's being originated from here. And when you're starting to build a rock band in the Southland, there's countless stages you can play and a lot of ways that you can survive that way. Not too many bands are doing it. You can kind of think of a couple of them like Steel Panther, and we
Yeah.
had who was the all-female Aerosmith band we had on, Joe?
Ragdolls?
Ragdoll.
Ragdolls. Oh,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great. Love those guys. Or
Seems
those girls.
it seems yeah, it seems to be becoming uh, an interesting angle because there's so many people that just want to get out and do something fun because over the last couple of years we have not been able to. And anything high energy fun is like you're destined to have a bunch of people. Have you noticed the change? Especially you, Jeffrey, since you created this thing pre-pandemic. Have you noticed a change in the audience since now and then?
Um, Not so much. The one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of people have moved out of California. um, it's always a thing. Like you get some really hardcore followers who come to almost every show that you do, and then you find out that they've moved away, and that's why you haven't seen them in a while. But you're absolutely right. I mean, people. It was like the herd just trying to get out, get out of the house and do something fun. Um, I think everybody was just overjoyed to be out again and listening to live music. The energy levels were extremely high and still are. So, I can't say that I've seen, a huge change because before the pandemic, we had some really great shows, some really high energy shows, and same with the audience, the crowd. I'm just glad it's back, and I'm glad that people continue to follow us throughout the pandemic and after. So and like you said, we are in the best place for this type of music, which is in the Hollywood, LA area, and I can't think of any better place to do what we do than here.
I think one of the challenges, and not just in LA, I think just all over because of COVID, is you saw some of those smaller clubs close. They couldn't
Yes.
make it, And so for a small band like yourself, who were, you were really working with those 250, 300 person venues to like get out there and get seen.
Yep.
So have you seen anybody like taking the place of those venues that closed? Because now it's, those closed a couple, 2-3 years ago. We saved some. I think the Troubadour's still around.
Big ones
So that's good.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen many that are replacing it. There are a few clubs that have popped up. Rock and Roll Pizza out in Simi Valley is one of them.
I just accidentally almost went there because I went to the location. Yeah, that's a thing going on.
But you know what? I'll tell you, for bands that are playing their own music, original music, it's extremely tough right now. Almost every club out there, they just want tribute bands or cover bands now. I mean, in fact, there are some clubs that will not book an original band anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
So it's
Not
really
even as an opener.
No, it's
Nothing.
No, it's they want the tribute bands, and from their perspective, I kind of understand it. A lot of the crowd wants that exact same thing. They want to hear a tribute. They want to hear their favorite bands. So it's very difficult getting your own music out there and finding a place to play. Fortunately, Hollywood, there's still a lot of clubs that an original band can go out and play and headline. But it's becoming more and more difficult. And the tribute bands have really dominated the local scenes recently.
I can think of a couple of venues that have opened up since the pandemic, because there's the Knitting Factory in North Hollywood that has opened up recently. There is Venice West that opened up. I think it was opened right before the pandemic, almost closed down, and then bounced back. After the pandemic, Venice West is still going. St. Rock closed down and reopened. They're just reopened. They just reopened St. Rock a few months ago.
Happy about that. St. Rock is a really, really fun place to see a show in the Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach area.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I've noticed is like Hollywood, the Valley, we have plenty of clubs. We didn't get hit as hard, but
right.
Man, the West Side is like a dearth of rock clubs. Like you cannot find a place to see a live show anywhere.
Yeah,
like 14 Below, if they're still around,
they're gone.
Yeah, see? So it's like St. Rock is it.
In fact, we played the Mint a couple of
we love the Mint.
month ago. And I guess the people that own the Mint own 14 Below. And if you're out back at the Mint, there's the old 14 Below signage or
oh really
whatever it is up there.
Barry, we missed it. Should have taken a picture with that stuff. Man, I loved 14 Below when I first moved to Los Angeles in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it was a great place.
It was 14 Below, Spaceland. Remember Spaceland? Oh man, that was like my favorite club in Los Angeles. I loved that place. God, what was the other one? There was another one on Los Feliz Boulevard. Grizzly Bear. Shoot, I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, but like all the little small clubs are closing, so it's got to be harder for you guys. It's like, do you like do backyard parties now? Like, how do you get in front of people? How do you get the word out?
Well, the whiskey's still around, and the Viper Room's still around. The Sunset clubs, you can still book some stuff in there.
Genghis Cohen.
God, I haven't been to Genghis Cohen in years and years. I didn't even know it was still around.
Yep, still around.
Wow.
Man, I love that. That place is good too because they have, they have decent food.
There you
I'm
go.
a,
Yeah,
I'm a foodie, so it's like I like to eat my noodles and watch a rock band. It's good.
there you go.
And,
Well-
and there are still good clubs that you can book at that are still, basically in Hollywood or the Valley. In the Valley we have the Last Call.
Yep, Last Call's
Call
good.
is still going strong. West Hollywood, you have Universal Bar and Grill, which has music just about every night, and is another place that original bands can get into. So, there are still opportunities out there. I mean, for us, we just try to pick our gigs very wisely. So, we really put some thought about where we want to play, the time slots that we want to play, and who we want to play with.
Now, when it comes to writing the stuff, who's the writer? Who writes the music? Who writes the words? How does that play out? Is it everybody or is it one person?
Okay,
Because
well,
Geoff has been the founder of the band, most of the songs were written prior to the rest of us even coming in. But
We'll
there
play
are
these
some
songs and you'll
that we
like them.
collaborated on, and some songs that other members have brought in. So there's that too.
yeah, before the pandemic, I wrote all of the music and all of the lyrics. There wasn't much collaboration between the rest of the band members, even though they were really good musicians. I was doing all the writing. When Mark came in, it was really a breath of fresh air because he actually was very interested in collaborating and doing the lyrics. And in fact, two of the songs that are on the EP, Mark wrote the lyrics for. One of them, the song called Sleazy, I just gave the music to Mark and I said, I have no idea what the lyrics are, but the song feels sleazy to me. So he kind of took that and rolled with it and came up with what we have now, which I just absolutely love. Another one, which is on our EP, is Does Your Dog Bite? That one, I just sent Mark the music and I said, I don't have ideas for a title or lyrics or anything. And Mark came up with it all. So it's been very nice to have that type of collaboration. Since we brought Frank Iano into the band, Frank is also a very talented songwriter himself. We are doing two songs of his that he's brought to the band right now that will be on our full-length CD when we get it out there. So it's right now, it's a very collaborative process. Everybody brings their own parts in or brings in entire songs. So it's fantastic working with this group of people because of that collaboration.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. You managed to find a crew. Now, Joe, you remember when we talked to that other band? Gosh, I can't remember who it was up north, and they all found each other with that website that's like
Euphoria.
Bluephoria. Yeah, remember they all found each other.
Oh yeah. What is it? Bandmates. Bandmates app.
Bandmates. How did you guys form? How did you find the other band members?
Actually,
You guys did Craigslist, didn't you? Like 1990s
Yeah,
style.
old school, man.
actually, that was just from being out and playing. Everybody's been in other bands and everybody's seen other bands. Myself, Mark, and Frank, the bass player, have all been friends for a few years now. And we were all playing in different bands. And in fact, Mark and, Frank still play in their own other bands as well. So it's not just specifically with us, even though I like to say this is the main band right now. But we all knew each other. So there wasn't much searching to do when we lost our old vocalist. I knew immediately who I wanted as my new vocalist, and that was Mark. Frank filled in our first gig that we had after the lockdown was at the Whisky, and that was like early 2020 or late 2020. And the bass player that we had at the time, he couldn't really deal with it. He was kind of freaking out about playing at clubs like that, and so he left about 2 weeks before we had that gig slated. And I called up Frank and I said, hey, would you be willing to fill in with this gig? We got 2 weeks till, but it's a short set. And so Frank filled in and did great. And after that, I just said, you want to be in the band as a permanent member? And he said, absolutely. David was a drummer that I met when we were doing rehearsals during the pandemic. We were rehearsing at this space in San Fernando Valley. That it was a huge studio, and we could all actually be 6 feet apart. But at the time, we were looking for a drummer. David happened to be an electrician that was working at the studio at the time that heard us. And he introduced himself to me at that rehearsal that he was at and said, hey, I'm a drummer. I really love your band. And I said, you know what? We're actually looking for a drummer. And that's how we kind of became acquainted with David. And it worked out great. So,
wow.
Some things just happened by chance, but no, we did not do any advertising on Craigslist, anything like that. It was just either from knowing each other from previous projects that we had been in, or finding, like I said, by accident, finding David.
No, I don't believe it. That doesn't happen today.
Yeah, you're right.
That didn't happen. Nope. Didn't happen.
I put an ad out in Hit Parader, and that's how I got out in the band.
Okay, I believe that. All right, you guys. You
There's
mentioned
an old green sheet. Yeah.
Oh, I want to know who knows that reference. Okay, so you guys, you mentioned that you got your band together. You've been writing the songs. You've been recording this stuff remotely, and you're close to having a full-length album. What are you targeting for your release date? How many songs? Are you going to have bonus tracks? Can people subscribe somewhere and get like a calendar of pictures of you guys and stuff like that? Like,
Sure.
what's the deal? Tell us.
Sure. As far as where people can find us, first off, go to our website, which is guitarandwhiskeyclub.com. You can pretty much find links to everywhere that we are at on that site, but basically, all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that, just search for Guitar and Whiskey Club and you'll be sure to find us. You can get on our mailing list to, receive advance information of anything that's coming up. As far as the CD and when we plan to release that, I learned a lesson a long, long time ago to never give out any dates on when you're going to release something, because somehow that always seems to come back and burn you in the ass.
Yeah, you don't want to get pushed back.
Right. So I will just say that we were working diligently on it, and we hope to have it out as soon as we can. But, we're not going to cut any corners. Everything's going to be right. I would say we're about probably 70 to 75% through the recording process. So we still have some more recording to do, and then, all the final mixing and all of that. So it's hard to say.
We're looking like end of the year, beginning of next year, not like 2026.
Yeah, no. And end of this year, beginning next year is kind of what we're targeting. But,
okay.
Again, I don't want to put a specific date on anything.
Sure.
But yeah, so hopefully soon.
Yeah, and you'll be touring around. Meanwhile, you could see you guys live. That's how we found you. We have a roaming reporter that tries to get us bands like you, where they're like, turned it up to 11, and they got a bunch of people in the crowd going, woo! It's like, that's the one. Thank you to our buddy Jarrett for finding you guys, and
Thanks, you,
Jarrett.
Thanks, Jarrett.
You do a lot of work that we don't want to do.
Yeah. Well, I would love to. The time. I can't go out every night.
We got jobs and stuff and families and things, and we got to pay the rent.
So, Jeffrey, what's behind this meta name of the Guitar and Whiskey Club for a band?
Well, okay, so that's kind of an interesting story. When I was putting this band together in late 2015, I'd been in many bands before, and I understand the work that it takes just to keep the band together, let alone do recording and actually get CDs out. It's a lot of work. And I was driving through the town of Ojai one day, and in Ojai, they have this old Western bar that's on Main Street. It's a very cool place. when I was driving by it, they had a for sale sign out on it. And I thought to myself, you know what I really should do? Buy a venue, a bar or club, call it the Guitar and Whiskey Club, and just be the house band. There, problem solved. So the idea never came to fruition. I never bought the bar or anything like that, but the name kind of stuck in my head, and we kept that for the band name.
I like
Okay,
it.
so what's your favorite whiskey? Not
Oh,
Scotch. Your favorite whiskey, not Scotch. Scotch is different. That's a whole other conversation.
boy, there was one that I used to love by a local company, Channel Islands Distillery, who made a corn whiskey, which I'm normally not a fan of corn whiskey, but this stuff was really excellent. And I'm sorry to say, I think that they did go out of business during the pandemic because I don't see their stuff anymore. That was one of my favorites. My go-to is probably, Jameson's or something. So,
I'm a Whistle Pig fan myself.
Wait, what? You're one more time?
Whistle Pig. I like Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the one that comes from West Virginia? I'm trying to find the one that comes from West Virginia that my family really likes. It's like Pappy something. And oh God, it's the worst. Because I'm a good, like, I like good whiskey. Like, I'll drink a Jameson's. That's good stuff. Dealer's White Label. I'm all about that. But man, they liked some bad whiskey back there.
I'm not going to give you I'm not going to disclose the name of this, but there is a song that Geoff wrote about a whiskey. So if he wants to tell you about that one, that's up to him. But I'm not going to disclose the name of the whiskey.
That's what it is. Is it Pappy Van Winkle?
That's it. You got it.
Man,
what the hell is Pappy Van Winkle?
Go look at some Pappy Van Winkle. That's like it's an old school whiskey brand that's been around for like 200 years. And my family back east loves this stuff, and I don't understand. It burns. That's all.
Yeah,
I use it when I get a cut and I need an antiseptic. That's what I use it for.
Oh man. All right. Well, the Guitar and Whiskey Club, Jeffrey and Mark, thanks for coming on the podcast today. Do you have anything in the near future that we should be paying attention to coming up?
Yeah, coming up, we got a few gigs coming up that we're really excited about. On July 23rd, we're opening for Y&T at the Canyon Club in Montclair. Really excited about that one. I've been a huge Y&T fan, since my teenage years, and I'm really happy to see them going strong still. So really looking forward to that one. Hope everybody can make it down. August, we're playing at a club called the Mamba in Huntington Beach. So we're kind of trying to spread out a little bit and get further down that way, make some new fans down there. That'll be our first time there. Then in September, we're back at the Whiskey opening for Vane, and looking forward to that show a lot too. So, we got stuff coming up. Again, we're doing a lot of recording right now. That's probably where we're spending the majority of our time, is both rehearsing for the record and getting the new songs recorded. After the recording is all done, we will probably up our gigging a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, we try to pick out very specific gigs that will work well with us and our fan base.
Yeah, going down to HB is going to be a good time. I'd be interested to see how many super fans you get, because, all of these places are far stretches of the Southland, and if you're reaching the four corners, I think that's a wise idea.
Yeah, well, we're just trying to branch out and get the word out. It's always fun to see new people and turn new people on to the band.
Yeah, but you can spend all the time you want in the studio. Just keep doing that for a while, and we'll wait patiently.
One of the things I like about the name of the Guitar and Whiskey Club is that it does allude to a community, which is basically what I believe in with this rock scene. It's like we've all got to get out there and support each other. keep that, keep the scene alive by, seeing live music and being part of the club,
And that's one of our favorite sayings is come on out and join the club. So
And I'm telling you, you guys need to get like, sew on badges with your logo and some stickers and if you need marketing ideas, I am here for you.
I think we need to just have like those little baseball clubs that they used to have at Dodger Stadium,
Oh, but see, you can't, the club won't let you hand those out though, because people will start beating each other with them. That's why they stopped doing it at Dodger Stadium, because the Dodger fans would literally start beating on each other with those.
We'll just have David use them as his drumsticks and, throw those out at the end of the set.
That'd be fantastic. The other thing they don't give away at baseball games anymore are baseballs, because people would just throw them onto the field.
Yeah.
Is it one stupid person ruins it for all of us. That's why we can't have fires on the beach anymore.
Yeah. Well,
it was fun while it lasted. I remember when the 80s were here and everything was fine.
Yeah.
Not true.
All right, Joe. Well, I'm going to ask it. I'm about to ask that.
All right, do it. Ask the question.
Before I ask, what do you think that they're going to answer?
No, that's not fair. Just ask the question.
Okay, I'll just answer.
No, I'm nervous.
So did they get, but first, do they get to,
no, I don't.
Did they get to respond as a band or individually?
I think when you give them weapons, I don't think that's fair.
That's totally fair. Okay.
We get weapons?
Yes, you can use your instruments as weapons.
Yeah.
And you can fight as a full band. Go, Barry.
Okay. All right. Would you rather suddenly get into a battle to the death with one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? A battle to the death.
I'd go with 100 duck-sized horses. That sounds like more fun.
It's a slog.
Yeah, I think it's more doable. Ducks can be. I think I'd go for the horse-sized. No, I think I'd go for the duck-sized horses because I can do some damage with my microphone stand with some.
Yeah, exactly, the microphone stand is going to be key.
Those vintage microphone stands, yeah,
they're heavy. You can smash them.
The bases, But the poor ducklings, the little horselings, I guess you'd call them.
No. They're demons. They have red eyes. They're rabid, and they want to eat you.
And have you ever seen 100 ducks? That's a lot of ducks.
That's a lot of ducks.
Imagine they're all horses chomping at you.
They're going to be a lot faster as horses,
galloping toward you.
Yeah.
Like get through a few of them, and then you're in trouble.
I hope you guys survive so you guys can play the Canyon Club soon.
Me too.
All right, Jeffrey and Mark, thanks for coming on the Guitar and Whiskey Club, everyone.
Thanks again for having us.